Why be fat when you can be fit? Why eat pizza when you can eat meat? You better start listening carefully. BeFit Radio.
We're on? Good morning, everybody. This is JC Morales here with Danny Money Macias. How you feeling, my man?
I'm good, man. 1, 2, 3 in the place to be. Coney Island, Brooklyn, New York City. My name is Danny Money. I'm joined by JC. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm okay. I'm excited to be here, man. Every time I come to Brooklyn, I get this feeling that, this is where I'm going to end up.
Yeah,
maybe, being from Queens, seeing how Brooklyn's progressed, I think that maybe that's where the BeFit headquarters are going to end up. What do you think?
I would love to come out to Brooklyn. Brooklyn has an allure about it. It has its appeal. I mean, it's a sexy borough right now. It's the sexiest borough, in my opinion, right now. It's a hot ticket.
Right, every time I'm here in Brooklyn, I feel like I'm in an extension of Manhattan, right? But a better one.
Yeah, a better extension. I like it because Manhattan, I love Manhattan too, but it's a little cliche, when you think about New York City. But I like Brooklyn. I like it here.
BeFit Radio.
We're here at the RedBull Slaps Tournament 2014. We got here super early, and
Got to beat that traffic.
yeah, we got a nice parking spot, which is a concern of ours. We set up, and there's a lot of people here early with us.
Yeah, it's exciting to see a lot of these people here bright and early. I mean, we got here around 7:30, and there was still people, tons of people here, maybe around 30 people when we got here around 7:30. I mean, now there's about, I'd say, collectively about 60 people in the park.
Yeah, and the first round of women's doubles has already started, taking place right now. It looks like an interesting match. We're sitting right in the mecca of handball, West 5th, right?
Yeah, that's open for discussion. I mean, it depends on who you ask as to where the mecca of handball is. Some may argue West 4th, some argue Coney Island courts. I mean, I'm just happy to be here because of the history that this place has.
Rookie John Wright, he is the coordinator, the host for this event. He's been doing it for 3 years straight, right?
Yeah, I believe he's been doing it for 3 years straight. I believe RedBull's been doing this tournament for about 3 or 4 years, if I'm not mistaken. And I mean, from what I've seen, they always deliver when it comes to their branding and their marketing and putting together this huge event.
BeFit Radio.
All right, Rookie. So being that you've been the face of domination in one-wall handball, synonymous with groundbreaking, greatness, in your estimation, is handball progressing in the right direction?
Handball is definitely progressing in the right direction, and it's making its mark on the world. So we're looking to do a demonstration in the 2016 Olympics, and we have plenty of young players and talent to do that.
Nice. And just a quick personal question. I mean, do you still have the drive to still dominate the game?
I'm a fanatic, and I love the game. I don't have the drive to dominate the game. I've been on top for 20 years. I'll stay dormant as a legend, and I just want to promote the game for the youth.
Just one more question, because there's tons of debate about this. In your opinion, where is the original mecca of handball? Is it Coney Island or is it West 4th?
There's always more than one mecca. You can't just dominate and say one place is a mecca. So you have to give multiple places because there's multiple talent players coming from different places. Perfect. So you just can't say that.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you so much, Ricky.
You guys walk.
Thank you.
BeFit Radio.
One of the virtues that we preach here at BeFit Radio is positivity, and it brings me to an interesting point, at least interesting to me, is circumstance. Many people like to blame a lot of their hardships, a lot of their setbacks, a lot of their failures on circumstance. However, we don't see it that way. We see circumstance as an opportunity. Such as if you do live in New York City, if you do live in Brooklyn, if you do live in Coney Island, if you live across the street from a handball court, I mean, those are your circumstances. You have a handball court right across the street from you. That's your outlet to fitness. Right. Not only that, you have the boardwalk right across the street from you. I mean, you can jog, you can run, you can sprint. They have the bar stars, they have monkey bars. That could be, those are your circumstances that you live here in Coney Island, and you can use that as a segue to fitness as well. I mean, you can swim, you can surf. Based on your circumstances, you could take any circumstance and turn it into a positive. Anywhere that you're at, whether you're in a cell block, whether you're at home, whether you live in a studio, whether you're renting a room, whether your apartment is the size of my restroom.
Closet.
BeFit Radio.
Hey JC, one thing I noticed here sitting at the handball courts, we're facing the boardwalk and we're facing the ocean, and what I see is a lot of people. I mean, I must have seen about 25 people jogging or running or doing some kind of exercise, which is exciting to see, especially on a Saturday at around 8:45 in the morning.
Yeah, that's very exciting. It comes to show you how far and how big the topic of fitness and health and well-being is becoming. Especially for the people that live around here. I mean, this is perfect. If you're around here, and you're a couple blocks away, and you got the boardwalk, you got the beach, you can run, you can jog. I mean, there's countless things you can do here, and just to see it this early, people motivated, it's just a plus for the day.
Yeah, I think people are just tired of spending their money, spending their time on Friday nights on nonsense and bullshit, feeling like crap the next day, feeling your pockets a little bit empty after spending countless dollars on meaningless drinks. I think people are just fed up, and I think the fitness craze is growing.
Absolutely, and a little bit about us. We were there.
Exactly.
We're talking from experience. Years of alcohol abuse and unplanned expenses,
unplanned pregnancies. Not really, though. Sorry.
I told you to take the after pill, Daniel. I told you to take the after pill. Not saying that partying is bad, but just when you overdo it. I remember waking up sick, and then my day can't start till 3 p.m. because I have to go to the bathroom 6 times, because I have to drink water, and then I try to come out and do some physical, and I can't perform.
Forget about it.
And that's what I think is changing. The fitness trend is changing how you go about your entertainment, how you go about the nights that you party.
Right.
There is a time for everything. Right. I like to party sometimes. I like to drink beer sometimes. I like to dance. I get crazy, but it's how you go about it. It's having some sort of idea and taking your health and your body and how you're supposed to perform in consideration.
Exactly.
Into consideration.
And that's what I was tired of not being able to perform after heavy drinking. I thought I could have it both ways, but I mean, maybe it works for some people, but for me, I couldn't have it both ways. I couldn't go out and party and drink 15 beers and have shots and stuff and then expect to perform at a high level, whether it's handball, whether it's weightlifting, or work for that matter. Yeah. Any aspect of my life. It's just not realistic, at least for me. I mean, I know that there are some people out there that claim that they could do that. I mean, I don't think so, because
they're human just like we are.
Yeah, because Juan and I were huge alcohol connoisseurs and consumers of alcohol, big fans of it. I mean, not anymore, but we were. There's a time and place for that. There's a time and place, for that stuff. But I think sometimes people take it over the edge, and I think they're getting tired of it.
Yeah, and to mention, just to bring back a story from something that happened to Danny. Danny got injured last year, right?
Yes.
So that was he went out, he got drunk, he partied.
A memorable injury, yes.
Yeah, and he went to the gym to try to perform as if he was well rested and hydrated, and he got lower back injury. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Danny?
Yeah, my logic was a little bit backwards back then, because I had my head up my ass, literally. After a heavy night of drinking, my logic was, I'm gonna go to the gym the next day and sweat it out and work it out. So I wanted to work out twice as hard. But
a lot of people think like that, by the way.
Exactly, yeah. That was my logic back then. But in doing that, I wasn't paying attention to form. I wasn't paying attention to the exercise that I was doing. I was doing deadlifts, by the way. I was doing about 225. So I was doing them at high intensity to try to sweat out, the quote unquote sweat out the hangover. But in doing so, I wasn't focusing on my form. I came up too quick, wasn't using my legs, and pulled my lower back. And that took me out of commission for about 3 months, where I couldn't even brush my teeth properly. I couldn't wipe my ass properly. I couldn't do anything properly.
Let alone play handball.
I couldn't get out of bed. I had to roll out of bed instead of getting up. Brushing my teeth was literally a pain in my backside. So that was a good lesson for me, a good learning lesson. It may have deterred a lot of people, the injury that I got, but I did tons of research. I rehabbed it. I foam rolled. I ball rolled. I steadily came back into deadlifting and using my lower back. And right now, I mean, I'm able to deadlift 405 pounds. Not that I'm bragging, but it's to show the progression. Show the progression that if you do have an injury, you shouldn't shy away from it, and also take preventative measures to getting those injuries. Which I was a knucklehead, going out heavy drinking and then trying to sweat out the hangover, which for me didn't work. It's just a bad idea.
Absolutely, and from that story, being that Danny's my best friend, and we work out together, play handball together, we do a lot of things together.
You know what I mean?
No. In all seriousness, it shows that an injury will take you out of commission, but at the same time, an injury can be a learning curve.
Right.
The learning curve. You need to learn that an injury, depending on the type of injury, does not mean you can't exercise, you can't work out.
Right.
And you have to take your injury seriously to learn your body and to learn how to learn how to rehab and come back stronger.
Right.
I just came from a shoulder impingement. I couldn't even bench press the bar by itself 5 months ago. Now I'm back to 195, 225. So it's very important. But going back to what we started talking about, listen, we like to party, but we also have to plan. If you're going to party today, you don't plan to work out tomorrow.
Exactly. I agree 100%.
Because that one decision can be it can kill all your goals for the summer, all your goals for the short term.
It could shut you down for a couple of days. It could shut you down for a couple of months. It could shut you down for your entire life. Why take that risk? It's just, in my opinion, a bad investment.
BeFit Radio.
Here we are with Timbo once again. Thank you for doing this. We talked 2 weeks ago at King of the Courts where he was crowned king, and BeFit Radio called it upon the beginning. Danny Money, he said it himself. You're gonna take it.
Yeah.
Timbo delivered.
Yeah, I'll take that credit because I was saying all along that Timbo was going to take it. I personally believed it, and we have the footage and the evidence beforehand, before the tournament. But on a serious note, it's a real treat to have the King of the Courts with us again, and I thank you again, Timbo, for being on BeFit Radio, and ultimately we're just huge fans of yours, and we just wanted to know how you feeling today, more than anything. Here at the RedBull Slams.
Is it crazy up the line right now, and the fact that he's
feeling good, man. Just gotta come out, take it game by game. Focus. Once you get on that court, forget about all that. Walking around, talking to people. Just zone out and sort of get into your game. Focus on your game. But I woke up feeling great today. I did a little jog in the morning, a little 2-mile jog, loosen up, stretch. Got in my first game and went smooth. It took me a little while to warm up. A few points, and then I just got the rhythm, and after that everything came fluent.
Now, I'll get a little personal over here. When we saw you at King of the Courts, it looked like something was bugging you, like you had unfinished business, like there was land out there that you hadn't conquered. Now that you won King of the Courts, I see you today. I see a completely different person. I see a more confident person. You were already confident before, don't get me wrong, but now I just see the confidence just through the roof, and I see you a little bit more relaxed. Does it have to do with it being a RedBull event, or is it because you've broken that barrier of winning King of the Courts and winning the title?
After winning King of the Courts, I had a goal. I went in there and I set it. So after winning that, it just built me up. I completed my resume. And it just made me focus, on everything else. Now I know, I have every title, but I just have to defend it, and I'm gonna do all I can to defend it.
So what's next for Timbo? What are the next moves? Where are you going next? What can we see from you? Where do we see? Where do we find you?
I'll be here again next week. I'll be here again next week for the Buddha tournament, the Memorial tournament. It's taking place here at Coney Island. September, I'll be heading out to Vegas for the 3-wall and 1-wall World Championships, and then I'll head to Simple Green in October for the U.S. Open of Handball.
Awesome.
They're calling Timbo right now, but we just want to thank and congratulate Timbo again on winning the King of the Courts. And good luck to you again, brother. I still think you're the favorite to win this tournament. 2 in a row, Danny? Yeah, let's make it happen. I still wholeheartedly believe that.
Thank you for the support. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much. Good luck.
BeFit Radio.
So that people get a little, background on us. We're in our late 20s, Danny and I. We grew up together. We went to the same school, 117, 217, and we went to high school together, and we split it up from there. But we're not just people sitting here in an office preaching all these things and not doing anything about it. We are athletes. We work out religiously. we take it down to our science with our own bodies, and being out here and talking to top athletes and talking to people who've done it, they've been there, they're in great shape. You know, it's also beneficial for us, and this is why we're here. This is why we do this, because we want to share with the world, you know, that the possibilities are there, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, no matter your circumstances, and if you want it bad enough, you can make it happen.
BeFit Radio.
JC touched on some important points right now, because that is our goal here at BeFit Radio, is to clearly communicate to people that in order to be successful, you need to set up goals, you need to have some kind of ambition, you need to make it happen. And we felt, I mean, we were victim. I don't like to use the word victim, but we used to believe some of the social norms about placing limits on our life, when in reality, our lives are limitless. Your life is limitless. My life is limitless. It's just a matter of dedication to a craft or to attaining a goal. And one of the facets that helped me, that taught me that, was playing baseball early on in my life. I started playing baseball at around 4 or 5 years old, and then that carried over into handball, and then handball eventually carried over into the weight room. And the feeling that I got was that a lot of the social norms that were being taught to me actually weren't helpful. They didn't do anything in my life except hold me back. Well, actually, I'm glad that I was able to be unconventional, to think unconventionally, to get me to where I'm at right now here with this venture that I'm doing with JC.
These are the things that we feel so strongly about, that we have to communicate to others. Is that, you know, people get the wrong impression from people who are passionate and motivated by fitness or by athleticism or by any sport. You know, we're not trying to be culty here, but we are trying to emphasize that your health is the most important thing that you can invest your time and energy into. Without it, there's nothing. So lesson number one that I should have been taught is, listen, learn how to be healthy, learn how to maintain, learn how to enhance your health so that you can move forward in your life, right?
Yeah, one thing I should have been taught is how to fucking invest. And when I mean investment, I don't mean capital. I mean investing in my health, investing in proper dedication, proper discipline. You know, investing in proper nutrition. Instead of buying the McDonald's, instead of buying a pizza, you know, maybe cook at home, maybe grill some chicken, maybe make some eggs, because it's an investment. Not only does it save money in my pockets, it also saves my health, and ultimately, that's number one on anyone's priority.
Nobody sit there. Let's be coherent here. Let's be coherent. If you have goals, then your investments should be towards your goals, whatever the goal is. If the goal is to have a six-pack, well, your investments will be dieting right, eating properly, hydrating properly, exercising regularly, sleeping well, etc., etc. And those type of investments. BeFit Radio believes unequivocally that the best investment you can ever make is on your health.
I like that.
And there,
you gave me a hard on just now.
And there, we want to invite all of you that agree with us, that believe in yourself and your capacity to grow and to progress. You know, we want to launch this hashtag BeFitMoney campaign on Instagram. Let's make it big. Let's make it popular. Let's inspire ourselves and our families and everybody around us to progress and to move forward.
BeFit Radio.
The top 3-wall player in California, the recent winner of the 3-wall Junior Nationals at La Mirada in Valencia. Well, actually, you play out of Valencia. So, Tanisha, is this your first time in New York City?
Yes, my first time.
And so far, how have you liked it?
I love New York. I like the games, and in California, like the max dose we get at tournaments is maybe 6. So over here, you come here, there's 30 girls at parks that play. Like you always can find games. So it's different.
And as you mentioned to me before, you said that you play 3-wall, and over here in New York, people dominates is one wall. Now, what's your preference?
I like. I'm starting to like one wall better.
What are some of the things that you like better about one wall compared to three wall?
With one wall, I feel like you move a lot more. Like, because you stand still, so you gotta move around the person in front. You gotta place yourself right so you can get in position to hit it. With this, you stay still. In three wall, like you move for the person.
Right.
So you hit the ball, you gotta move out of the way.
That's part of the rules.
Yeah. So it's different here. So
If you don't move, it's a point, right?
if you don't move, they either call it an over or it could be a point. Depends on like the tournament rules and everything. But yeah, usually like if you hit the ball and it comes, you move. You don't stay still. You don't try to like hit it in front of you. That's not your strategy over it.
Over here, you try to block the person away from the ball. You stay still, otherwise it's a block. It's a different dynamic.
To me, I've played three wall a couple of times, and I feel like three wall, you need more agility sometimes because you have to move out of the way, and because the ball bounces so funny. You can bounce it off the other wall. I think you have to be a little bit more agile as opposed to one wall. You can kind of predict where the ball is going to go, even though a lot of people kill it. I mean, New York style is just killing the ball. Right? That's what a lot of people like doing out here. So yeah, it's funny getting just different takes. And I thank you for the interview. Do you plan on competing in the future? More tournaments here in New York?
Yeah, I want to maybe next year come for the Queen of the Courts.
Nice.
Check that out. Yeah, if they have that, and then hopefully the RedBull again.
Let me ask you this: for I think picks up for in terms of like the culture, New York handball has always been known and categorized as very aggressive, an aggressive underground sport. The whole in-your-face type of game. Is that something that transcends over to California, or do you experience it differently here than over there?
It's different here. Like in California, our crowds, when we have tournaments, the crowds are going crazy, cheering, yelling stuff. But the players are more like, if someone calls something, they don't argue it unless they know, like, okay, this is right. We don't argue. If a ref calls something, okay, take it.
Take it.
So here, everyone just argues for what they want.
Exactly.
So that's different.
That's different.
Yeah.
And that's as a player, that could always change the outcome of the game, because if you let your opponent get in your head by disputing everything, you weren't here for King of the Courts last week, right? 2 weeks ago. So there was matches where it was really intense. So I wanted to know if the difference between how people experience handball in Cali as opposed to New York. Yeah. Well, this is a current thing for us,
Over here, they're aggressive.
Did you experience that in your game?
No, not as much.
No?
No. Just we had like one call that was argued, but I don't know the rules here, so I'm kind of like, okay, I'll just listen to what you're saying.
How was your game?
It was good. I lost that one, but I think we scored like 15. So for my first time, that's not bad.
No. That's what Hector was telling us, that it was your first match, the first time you played with your teammate.
Yeah.
So I mean, to get 15 points, you're absolutely right. That is an accomplishment.
Because me and my partner, we didn't practice. Like usually, if I play with someone, we'll practice before.
How'd you get this partner?
She hit me up on Facebook. She's
Nice.
like, hey, you want to play? I'm like, if I can get in, yeah. She's like, of course, I'll play with whoever. So she got me in. But yeah, we didn't practice. We weren't like, we got communication, everything. So we were kind of just going out there. But it worked.
How long do you plan on staying in New York?
I'm leaving tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
To get a couple of pickup games just
I
before you leave.
know. I didn't expect to come here and it was like this. If I would have known, I would have totally stayed longer. But
Let me ask you one last question. We were discussing previously in our podcast with Danny that, in handball, the women that play handball, it's been growing slowly but steadily throughout the years. But as far as a spectator is concerned, it seems like over here in New York, there are more, people rather look at the male,
right.
at the males play. Do you think that's because of the level of the women that are playing? Or what do you take from that? What do you gather from that?
I think for me too, I like watching the men play. And the reason why I like watching the men play is because they give it everything. They dive for the balls, they run, if they had to break their leg to get a ball, they would do it. You know what I mean? The women we play hard, We don't like throw ourselves in there where it's like, okay, I'm risking getting injured, but I want the point. You know what I mean? So that's different. So men games are always entertaining. Like, yeah.
It's a level of competitiveness.
I think you touched on an interesting point because I think the women will get to that point, but I just think they need to play a little bit more. I just think it's been so male dominated for so long that they've progressed a little bit more, but I think females are right there, and I think it's going to get to that point. Because in tennis, the men and the women is just as exciting. To me, there is no disparity of the level of play and the level of competition and the level of dedication between men and women when it comes to tennis. So I think that'll eventually happen with handball. It's just right now, I've been seeing a lot more female players, and I think it's just going to progress. I like it. I like seeing all the females here represented. I'm glad that you came out from Cali to represent.
That's representation right there, because she flew all the way from Cali. That, you know, if you don't love this game, if you don't care for it, you're not going to do that.
That's what we're about, BeFit Radio. We're about fitness and dedication and patience and discipline, because ultimately those are the ingredients to success. It's to have that. And we flew, I don't know how many thousand miles.
3,000 miles.
3,000 miles across the country, from the West Coast to the East Coast, just to compete in something that you love doing. A variation of what you're used to, like with the new partner, entering the tournament, and it's a wonderful thing.
That's my next step. I made a name for myself in 3-walk. I'm trying to convert to the 1-walk.
And we have no doubt that you will. We have no doubt. We thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you, Tanisha, and good luck in the future.
We hope to change the speeds of the game and cuts. Now everything's just power, drive, and run. So if you don't have legs, you don't have power, you're in trouble.
It's funny you mentioned that. It's funny you mentioned that, because we were talking in our previous podcast on how when you look at the volleys are getting longer.
Yes.
In singles. And you draw a parallel with tennis, and it becomes more appealing for the crowd because the volleys are lasting longer. What's your take on that?
Well, the volleys are taking longer because a lot of people are trying to outpower their opponent. You see, I don't like playing that way. I like to shoot.
Yeah.
So if I'm on, I'm shooting. But the problem with shooting is also if you're not on, you're going to be missing shots and the game's not going to look as good. So it has to be in the mixture of both. So you need to know how to drive, power, and shoot. So if you keep driving, it's just going to be a volley game all the way around, especially if the guy has legs.
It's a physical game.
Physical game now.
BeFit Radio.